What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content. And I want to speak on this game, man. It was a good game, if you ask me. Round one, game one, the Houston Rockets versus Golden State Warriors, right? And Golden State, man, they came out and looked good, like I thought they would. The Rockets was early on in the game, well, throughout the whole game, they were pretty physical with Steph Curry, right? And I knew they would be physical with him. And this is nothing that Steph Curry has never seen. And so, I mean, Steph Curry hit some crazy shots, man. But before I go into like Steph Curry's performance, I want to talk about before the game started, Dylan Brooks had made this statement. I feel sorry for them. They beat Memphis just to lose in the first round against us, right? And I knew that this was going to be for Steph Curry and Golden State. I knew that this was going to be like bulletin board material, and I thought that it was an attempt by Dylan Brooks really to try to get into their head. But like I said, Steph Curry and Golden State was very familiar with Dylan Brooks, and they had success no matter who Dylan Brooks, whether he played for Memphis or whether he played for Houston, they've had success against him, in the past, and they know his style of play. So it wasn't, nothing that they was unfamiliar with. And so Golden State came out early, and Steph Curry said that their goal was not to force like Steph Curry getting into the game. And you could kind of see that it wasn't Steph Curry trying to force plays. Um, but at certain points in time in the game, he did try to make things happen because he said he wanted to keep them honest. He didn't want to, he kept the pressure on them. If you want to play Steph Curry physical, if you want to stay you know, then as soon as they slacked off of Steph Curry, he hit a shot. As soon and then a couple shots, one of the shots he hit, he was like stepping out of bounds and turned and just shot a rainbow jumper and it went all nets. When this guy Steph Curry is hitting shots like that, man, and your defense is as intense. I mean, I don't know who was on him. I forgot who was on him when he hit the shot and he falling out of bounds, the 3-pointer. But you could not have played him any better than that. Like no coach, no fan, nobody, no teammate would be upset with the guy's effort, that was on that play against Steph Curry. And so Jimmy Butler, he carried a lot of the offensive load. What's the redhead kid? He made a few shots. I don't know that kid name. I forgot his name. But he hit a couple threes. Draymond Green, and the game and the thing about all right, what I see, Houston's gonna play physical. But the good thing about it is uh Golden State play physical too. And so Golden State was playing physical with Jalen Green. They was playing physical with Dylan Brooks. I mean, everybody across the board. It wasn't no easy baskets on their end. See, and that's the thing about it. Teams who play physical and try to take you out of your rhythm, they don't like to be played physical. You know what I mean? They don't like to be played physical just like the other. Their opponents don't like to have that physicality. So Stephen Curry and Golden State, they return the favor. You got Looney, he's physical. You have Draymond Green, Butler. What's the other guy? Gary Payton Jr. All of these guys play physical, and it wasn't. And Jalen Green, is it Green? Yeah, Jalen Green didn't have a good game. I think he was like a 5 for 21 or something like that. You know, um, so he didn't have a good game because they were very physical with him. And I said that going in, like this is a young team. This is their first playoff experience. So, and it showed. I don't think they played a real bad game, but I just think that it showed that, you know what I mean, like, they have never been here before in the playoffs like this, and Ime Udoka really has his work cut out for him to get these young guys ready. You know, I said before the game, I think that this Houston team is a young and up and coming team, but I just don't think like this year. I don't think they're ready this year. You know, I don't think this is gonna be their year. But it was a good game. You know, it was a good game. Steph Curry said that he knew that Houston was going to make some runs, and they did make a run. They cut it. They were down like about 24. Then they cut it, to like a 6 or something like that, and then Golden State weathered that storm. And I like their game plan. I like Golden State's game plan because if Golden State, as long as Golden State don't allow Houston Rockets to run and get easy baskets, Golden State will always be in it. Steph Curry also said after the game, and he's talking to what was it, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, and Shaquille O'Neal. He said that they want to make Houston a half court team again. That what I mean. That's good because Houston is a young team. They got some slashers. Don't allow them to do what they like what they are comfortable doing. Make them a half court team, and that worked for them. Because in the half court, it's number one. It's tougher for them to get their baskets. So they're going in the half court. They're going to have to be as far as their 3-point shooting. They're going to have to be really on to get their 3-point shots. Golden State play good defense, so they're not going to allow them to get any open looks. So, do Houston have anybody in the low post though? That's a real threat, like a consistent. The one guy that Houston do have that's in the low post. I don't think he's a consistent threat. He's not somebody. And I forgot his name, but and it wasn't Jalen Green. It was the big guy for him. He played a tough game for Houston Rockets, and he on the offensive boards and the defensive boards. But as far as him scoring, he's not getting no easy looks down there, and they are making him work for everything that he gets. Anybody that try to get a basket in the paint against Golden State, they're just gonna make you work and not gonna give you any easy looks. And then they fighting for every rebound. So Houston, in my opinion, is not in a position show uh to show Golden State anything that they haven't already seen. The thing about it is Houston is going to make Golden State work. And so the beneficiaries, I don't think Houston will be the beneficiary of that hard work. I think whoever see Golden State in the next round, that'll be the theme throughout is to make Jimmy Butler work, make Steph Curry work, play physical with him, especially Steph Curry. But again, Steph Curry is used to it. He's used to it, and so I think this Houston series is going to be a good series. I like these young guys. I don't really dig Dylan Brooks though, because sometimes he seems kind of dirty. Like he go above and beyond. And right now you have a situation where Draymond Green, he can't really, he don't want to get any technical fouls and risk missing a game. So it's going to have to be somebody else who really going to have to get into it with Dylan Brooks and let Dylan Brooks know that maybe it'll be Jimmy Butler. And that's a good thing about having Jimmy Butler on the team is you got another guy who's physical, and and Jimmy Butler is bigger and stronger than Dylan Brooks. So he don't mind mixing it up with Dylan Brooks, But I think I saw a couple smart plays from Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler. Dylan Brooks looked like he was trying to get under their skin and trying to he was trying to get a reaction from them, and they really didn't. They just looked at the ref and really didn't complain about it, which I like. You know what I mean? You don't want to see people, them complaining because then that'll make Dylan Brooks thinks that he's getting under their skin. Just looked at the ref and were like, "Wow, you're not gonna call that?" You know, um, And so I'm looking to see though later on in the series if things like this, if these kind of plays don't start to get under the skin of Golden State, uh Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. If I think if you have a situation where Golden State is winning and he's trying to, then they want to. They most likely they'll be able to just not pay Dylan Brooks any attention. But some of the plays, like I think one year he hurt. What's the guy name? He hurt. He was involved in a play where Gary Payton Jr. got hurt and missed a good amount of time. So he was involved in that play. So you know, but I think I don't know. I just think that if you play physical with him, like if this guy want to bump, then make that bump at both ends, and that's what Golden State is doing. So it worked for them in game one. They beat by 10 points. And yeah, Steph Curry said, man, we knew that they was gonna make a run. But as long as as long as they are a half court team, then I think as long in a close game, I'm definitely going with Golden State, because they have Jimmy Butler who can get a basket against anybody Houston had, and then they have Steph Curry, who gonna hit some crazy shots, man. But it was a good game. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of this series and see if it goes back and forth. But with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video.